What's up, everyone? My name's Andrew. This is Nico.
Hello.
And we are going to play some Morrowind. Now, what I want to do with this is, I've played Morrowind since I was like in lower middle school, since the Game of the Year edition came out on Xbox. I played this game, and there are still things that I've never done in this game, despite the fact that they released 2 Elder Scrolls since, plus Elder Scrolls Online. So what I kind of want to do is comment kind of meta and talk about, you know, elements of the game, how they interact with the next Elder Scrolls in the series, you know, things that were really unique to the game, or things that, you know, they could have done better or whatnot. Just to kind of give some perspective on the game, you know, what is it, 12 years now after it's been released? It was released in 2001 or something like that.
Wake up. We're here.
Anyway, that's what we're gonna do.
Why are you shaking?
And
Are you okay? Wake
we
up.
hear this voice we hear right now is Jayub, I think
Stand
his
up.
name is. I have no idea how
There
you
you go.
actually pronounce his name,
You
but
were dreaming. What's your name?
if you don't know, Jayub killed all the cliff racers in the lore. He was like, he rid the cliff racers of Morrowind. And if you ever played Morrowind, you know that the fucking cliff racers are a nuisance. So, what is our name? Well, we're gonna be a Khajiit in House Telvanni. I just made that up because I like to break the stereotypes. You think of Khajiit as the sneaky cat people. Well, we're gonna be a Khajiit who uses magic and is in House Telvanni. So, we will be Dro. What should our second name be?
Philathon.
Dro Philathon. That
Well,
is an
not
interesting
even last
name.
night's storm could wake you.
But
I heard them say
Here we go.
reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go.
so yeah, I have the
comes
better
the
bodies and better
This is
heads
where
mod
we
installed
Come with me.
on Morrowind. It really makes the ugly potato faces look a lot better. Yeah, like I said, if you play through Skyrim, if you play through the Dawnguard expansion of Skyrim, you actually meet Jayub's soul in the Soul Cairn,
Get yourself.
and his accomplishment in mortality was
Head down to the dock.
driving all the cliff
You
races
finally
away from
arrived, but our records
Morrowind,
don't show from
and
when.
it's one of those things that I feel Bethesda was kind of winking at Morrowind players when they included him in the lore, because, you know, he's an otherwise forgettable character. He's just that guy that you meet at the very beginning that says, "Wake up, you were dreaming. What's your name?" But they kind of took it and made it into something bigger, which I really enjoyed.
I mean, that's pretty smart, because that's the character that everyone who's played Morrowind's met. I mean, there's no chance that you've missed that guy, but it's only the people who are paying attention who are ever going to get that.
Right. And our Khajiit looks very lion-like, so let's go with that.
Great.
Now,
I'm sure you'll fit right
I have a
in.
really bad habit of
Follow
falling
me up
into a
to the
rut with
office and I'll
Morrowind,
finish
always
your
playing as
release.
Dunmer, because that's kind of the, you know, what the game was made for, the Dunmer. So this is actually my first time I've ever played as a Khajiit, so let's see how this goes. Now, I don't want to focus specifically on
Yes, we've been
magic,
expecting you.
because the
You'll
magic
have to
system
be
in Morrowind
recorded
kind
before
of
you're
sucks.
officially
So I'm going to do like
released. There are a few ways we can do this,
a
and the
warlock
choice
kind of
is
build,
yours.
you know, split between melee and magic. So let's fill out the forms ourselves. And let's call our class, what do we want to call our class?
I have no idea.
How about he who flings spells?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not known for my my on the fly naming. Let's do intelligence. Intelligence will be important because of magic, and then we still want to retain somewhat of a combat slant, so let's go with endurance. He who flings spells and wields blades. How about that? So we want alchemy. We want conjuration. Those two are really useful. We want what attacking do we want?
Oh, I don't remember what's in this list.
I feel like spear is one that I never really use often enough. Let's go with spear. A light armor. Let's go with illusion because Night Eye is like invaluable in this game. It's so dark.
No destruction?
I don't know. I feel like destruction isn't very efficient use of magic. That's kind of why I picked the spear. I mean, let's do it just because. But we'll also try mysticism is the one I believe opening locks is good for. So let's do that. Marksman, I like marksman. Any suggestions?
I don't know. Never really played with magic. Always, especially in Morrowind, I always picked non-magical things other than illusion. I always did like more of a stealthy characters.
Okay. Enchant.
Very
Enchant
good.
is a
The
skill
letters
in
that
Morrowind
preceded
that I
you
never
mentioned
really
you were
got.
born under a certain
And I feel like
sign.
most people
And
who
what
played
would
Morrowind
that
feel
be?
this way, but it's just there's so much potential to fail when you're using the enchantment skill, and it's just so hard to actually succeed with it that it's like you might as well just pay someone to enchant it for you because that's 100% success rate.
So they're too punishing with it. Huh?
Yeah. Huh. Let's do that.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this
Sounds
information
so
is
interested.
correct.
Yeah. Interesting. He who flings spells and wields. I guess the blade couldn't fit on that, but whatever. Okay, let's do this.
Show your papers to the captain.
Show your papers to the captain. Now, fun fact. You can steal anything here without consequence, as long as you drop it before the guy comes over
Continue through to the next
and
building
apprehends
and
you,
talk to some
but
spies.
let's not do that right now. As much as the Morrowind tradition is to steal literally everything there is here, I'm only going to take a few things. My alcohol, my lockpick, a blade, and alchemy stuff. Damn, I'm good. So I also want to get all the way to Sadrith Mora, which is where we'll be signing up for the Telvanni house. I want to go there all the way by walking, which could potentially be incredibly dangerous because it goes through the ashy wastes. There's a lot of corporous beings and whatnot. But I have the Morrowind graphics extender on this, and I have infinite view distance, so I really want to take advantage of that. The engraved ring of healing for Fargoth. People equivalate, that's not a word. People make Fargoth equivalent to the adoring fan from Oblivion. And I don't think that's fair. Because Fargoth just wants his ring back. The adoring fan follows
This
you
better be important.
all over the place. and is annoying. And you can't shove Fargoth off of Dive Rock. Let's go.
Has anyone who's played Oblivion not shoved him off of Dive Rock?
I don't know, man. I've done it, I admit it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we're proficient in spear, so let's get a spear to start. Huh, there's 2 different variants of iron spears here. One of them has 200 more condition than the other. I wonder if that's a glitch. So we're proficient in spear and light armor, so let's get some chitin. Or chitin.
Oh yeah, they break up the armor into a lot more pieces in this game.
Yes.
I actually sort of missed that. I liked the ability to sort of mix and match more.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of simplified it so there wasn't as much item management, but I don't know. It gives a better sense of like customization and just style.
Yeah. Especially because each individual one could be, you know, enchanted. I mean, obviously we've talked about how enchant is basically useless, but if you do have the budget to pay someone to enchant, it's nice to be able to do, like, separate gauntlets. Like, you can, like, name one, like, the right gauntlet of, you know, good wielding, and then the left gauntlet of good wielding.
I suppose that's why they changed it for the later ones, though, because you can get a little bit overpowered with that many enchantments on you at once.
The ironic thing is that in Oblivion you could still stack Chameleon to get 100% and just...
Yeah, I did that. I played a stealth character, complete 100% Chameleon. And it wasn't very fun because you just break it. Nobody can see you. You're completely invisible forever.
Yeah, I've never done that. Actually, on my other Morrowind character, I've broken it. Because I killed King Helsith, who has a ring that regenerates 10 points of fatigue and 10 points of health. Constant effect. Plus 100% reflect spell. So...
Wow.
I'm invincible. And that was endgame, you know. I basically wanted to turn myself into that, so I did. The geography of Morrowind is interesting. I've never been that familiar with it, because a lot of my time playing this game has been using the Silt Striders to get around. So I never really explored the island proper until recent playthroughs. But again, with the infinite view distance, you really get a different sense for what the world is about.
So they don't have the fast travel as it was in the other games in Morrowind?
No.
It's only through the Silt Striders?
Yeah, Silt Striders, boats, teleport. You can't, like, open up your map and say, I want to go here. You know, it doesn't work like that.
That's almost better. I mean, it's more of a, like, in-game way of, like, shortening the distance.
Right.
And it's, like, interacting with the world. I wonder, would there be, like, a large backlash if they did that for future games? A sort of, like, it still shortens the distance, but then makes it so that you really do have to explore.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I feel like the fan base is malleable enough to go either way on that issue. I don't think there would be a huge outrage if they took it out, but I don't think it's likely that they'll take it out.
Yeah, I mean, what I've seen so far is that they trend towards anything that increases accessibility that doesn't cost too much in the amount of freedom.
Right. Because in Oblivion, it was very much the new system was you opened up your map and you picked where you wanted to go. In Skyrim, you can still do that, but you can also pay a carriage to take you to one of the hold capitals. So it really has the option for either person.
Yeah.
In the distance, you can see a Dwemer ruin. That's one of the parallels that I really enjoyed between Morrowind and Skyrim was the Dwemer. I don't even know much about the lore, but I find that the whole the concept of, you know, this ancient race being very machine oriented is really interesting to me.
Yeah, actually, you know, that's actually one of the things that was sort of actually a little bit bothersome to me. I find the machine sort of stuff, they do it in lots of fantasy games where they have a sort of like highly technologically advanced race that's sort of like separate from the rest of the world. And like, I don't know, it sort of breaks a little bit the illusion for me of this fantasy world when you have these highly technological like guys. I mean, I get it, and it's not too bad, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it adds to the experience for me. That being said, I actually do enjoy the Dwemer ruins in Skyrim quite a bit.
Damn it. Slaughterfish or the cliff races of the ocean in Morrowind. I feel really vulnerable right now because the fatigue system was so unforgiving in Morrowind. You know, in Morrowind it was physical activity drained your fatigue. Go figure. It didn't really baby you like it does in the Oblivion and Skyrim. So just walking around the world makes you vulnerable because when you get into a scuffle, if you've been walking around a lot, you don't have the fatigue to hit. And of course, Morrowind was more of that classical RPG element where you have, you know, your chance to hit is based upon your skill. So,
I mean, do you think I didn't really ever notice fatigue being something that affected me at all in Oblivion and Skyrim. Do you think they toned it down too much? I mean, what did it ever do? Like in Skyrim, I had to like stop running every once in a while.
Yeah.
But, I mean, other than that.
Again, I think it's one of those. It goes back to that whole accessibility thing because, you know, picking up this game at first, I was like, what the hell? Why can't I'm using my weapon against someone? Why aren't I hitting them? And so I'm probably gonna fucking die here. Oh shit. Ooh, that was close. So yeah, I think they, you know, it would alienate a lot of people if they went back to the old system.
Yeah, I'm not sure. See, I feel like it's almost like they could have just taken it out for the newer games. It's not very consequential at all.
So we were talking about fatigue and, what were you saying? Oh fuck, there's one of the clips.
Yeah. Annoying game. I was talking about fatigue and how I think there's like a middle ground where they can make it more relevant, where you have to pay attention to it, and it like has an effect on you more than it does in Oblivion and Skyrim. But it's not like something that gets in the way. It's just something that, you know, makes you feel more like you are a person. Like you're not invincible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Skyrim, the only thing that fatigue ever, well, it was called stamina, I guess, in Skyrim, but the only thing that it ever affected was power attacks. Like, oh, you can't do this many power attacks in a row because you don't have the stamina for it. But that was about it. That and running.
Yeah, but I seem to remember that you could do like a power attack unless, like, even if you had like a little bit in the bar. Like, even if, like, I would attack, and when I was completely out, all you have to do is let it regenerate a slight amount.
Yeah.
And then you can do a full power attack again.
So this is a really nice showcase of the infinite view distance. Well, I guess it's not infinite since the mountains over there are starting to disappear, but the extremely enhanced view distance of Morrowind graphic extender. Again, we're in the Ashlands right now, heading towards Sadrith Mora, and I think that mountain all the way over there is actually Red Mountain, so we're in dangerous territory.
I seem to remember, like, someone was talking about, or someone at Bethesda was talking about Morrowind and talking about the view distance, and they were saying that the game was so ambitious for the time. They had to really, like, cut down the view distance more than they really wanted to.
I believe it.
But yeah, I mean, now that computers are more powerful and stuff, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the fact that this game has held up so much over the years is a testament of how far they kind of pushed it.
I mean, it really is an amazing game. I remember you telling me about it before I'd ever seen it, and I didn't really believe you. Like, that it was really as like open-ended and like had so much stuff in it. Like,
Yeah.
it just sort of sounded like a whole other world, which is what it is, I guess. But I'd never experienced a game like that up until Morrowind. It was always, you know, a lot more linear games, and so much less content.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, the time we were playing that 007 Nightfire game.
Oh, I still like that game.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great game. It was great. It was fun, but like the amount of content in Morrowind in comparison to Nightfire,
Right.
like Nightfire had like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my conception of like a full video game, and then I saw this. I was like, what? You
Yeah.
can't. It's like there's no end to it.
Yeah, this was my first experience with this kind of game too.
I mean, I guess they had been doing like really big games before this, but I just like this was my first like experience with it, and this was when they had like really, like we got in at a good time. It's like they had really pushed it for this game.
Yeah.
It was way ahead of like what anybody else had done at the time. I mean, the only games that came close to this amount of content were not even like 3D. Like they relied a lot on like you just imagining the stuff happening.
Like the text.
Yeah, the text stuff, or you know, just like a big world map with some text and
Right.
some like images and lots of repeated stuff.
So I'm starting to appreciate destruction after having toasted some of those creatures with frostbite. mean, it's not a very powerful spell, but I guess I've just used destruction so infrequently in this game that it's interesting to experience something new. Again, there's that thing. I've played this game for so long, yet I've never really tried destruction. I feel like it's part falling into the same pattern of play and part just kind of being overwhelmed with the vastness of the world.
Yeah.
Lava. I'm actually surprised we fared pretty well. Especially if we're going into this with like no sort of backup, like no potions or anything.
Yeah.
Cliff Racer's coming for us. You can always tell. It just takes that one tick for them to recognize you're there, and then it's floating on over.
So, is there any? What's the next most annoying creature after the Cliff Racer?
I would say the slaughterfish,
The Slaughterfish.
because they spawn so frequently that you can't cross like a tiny pond without encountering one,
I see.
and you move so slowly in water. But I think we might just be at the 30-minute mark, so we're gonna pause it for there right now. After I kill this Cliff Racer, descending from the sky, eclipsing the sun.
What is it doing? So it like flies over on the XY axis, and then goes on the Z axis down to you.
I guess so. Yeah, it's really awkward at times. Come on, Ancestor Ghost, help me out here. You gangly looking fuck. I remember the worst of all spawn creatures is the greater bone walker. Because those things have the ability to damage your strength. So if they damage your strength enough, you can't move. Like you have like 2 strength, and you have to drop all your stuff. Find a healing thingy, restore it, and go back and get all your stuff again. Mababi.
Bummer.
What's in Mababi? Find out next time on The Adventures of Drove Philathon, the spear-wielding Khajiit who is going to join the House Telvanni. We're gonna cut that out, cut off for today. We hope you come back and join us. I can't even remember his name. Philanthon, let's go with that. Alright.